Hello all. Today we're finally going to answer the question, what is the military-industrial complex? Like everybody else, we'll start off with the farewell address from President Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Until the latest of our world conflicts, the United States had no armaments industry. But we can no longer risk emergency improvisation of national defense. We have been compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions. Added to this, 3.5 million men and women are directly engaged in the defense establishment. Now, this conjunction of an immense military establishment and a large arms industry is new in the American experience. The total influence, economic, political, even spiritual, is felt in every city, every state house, every office of the federal government. In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes.
Unlike most presidents, Eisenhower knew the military and how it worked. Unfortunately, what he was afraid of 50 years ago is exactly what happened. The cozy relationship between Congress, the Pentagon, and military contractors is something that is acknowledged by almost everyone to be a problem. It's now the way that the system works. When they want to push a new and useless system like the F-35 fighter, they make sure that there are pieces of the project all over the country. This guarantees that jobs in every congressional district are dependent on the continuation of that program. What's more, high-ranking military officials can often look forward to high-paying jobs in the defense industry after their public careers are over. This is why military budgets in the United States only ever go up. Everybody hates this, from Noam Chomsky to John McCain. But the thing is, this represents only a fraction of what the military-industrial complex actually is today. Have you ever heard of this magazine? Foreign Affairs is probably the most respected foreign policy publication in the United States. If you're an academic or a journalist that wants to describe the world, you want to be published here. So what do we find on the first page? This is a 2-page full-color ad for a drone paid for by Boeing, one of the world's largest arms manufacturers. Most editions of this journal start in a similar fashion. Do you think that might influence the coverage? I'm not accusing Foreign Affairs of conscious bias, but they are subject to a subtle, unsought influence that can make a real difference and is very, very hard to detect. This influence is everywhere. And I would argue that it is much more powerful than the more straightforward corruption of defense contracting. The military-industrial complex is metastasizing. It's not the thing Eisenhower warned us about 50 years ago. It's much, much bigger. The crucial element is time. For 50 years, this system has been growing. Defense contractors now include a surprising number of businesses you would never think of, but the U.S. military buys a lot more than just guns. Military money funds an immense ecosystem of journalism, universities, and think tanks, all of which are knowingly or unknowingly dedicated to the continuation of the current system. In Eisenhower's day, there were people in government, media, and academia who remembered an era before militarization. Those people are now all dead. Very few working within this system can even see how absurd it is. And it is indisputably absurd. Through 45 years of Cold War, we built a massively complicated, ruinously expensive hammer designed to hit one nail. 25 years ago, that nail disappeared. Rather than dismantle our military-industrial complex, we've made it larger. The idea that we need a bigger military establishment to deal with a few angry dudes in caves than we needed to deal with the Soviet Union is insane. But it's also the idea that guides the thoughts and actions of the United States government today. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and if you'd like to help me make more videos like this one, please click on the Patreon link here to find out how.